Hello, and welcome back to WintersMedia. I just want to say, if you guys haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe. It will greatly help grow the channel and greatly help me to see what you like to see. Today, as you can see, we are going to be talking about some of the things that President Trump addressed in his almost hour-long speech to the United Nations this past week. So, jumping right into it. Um, I made a lot of notes, so I'm just going to run through these notes and then give you my thoughts and pose some questions that I will answer myself that I will also put down in the chat for you all to answer as well. Okay, to jump right into it, Trump called out the UN for not stepping in to stop wars in the world. He also followed that up with saying that he has stopped several wars that he also addressed in his speech. He harped on the bad hospitality, uh, even though it is in New York, in the United States. But as many have already heard, and for the some that have not, the escalator stopped when he and First Lady got on, and then the teleprompter stopped. So, as you can imagine, the president was not too happy. He mentioned how he was passed up on designing the building for the UN many years ago. And he also brought up how Congress asked him to testify about how the funds were misused in building that the escalator stopped and the teleprompter did not work for him. He doubled down on Iran not having any nuclear weapons, mentions that the U.S. midnight strike, and that most of Iran's leaders are dead, mentioned stopping Israel and Iran's 12-day war, really emphasized making peace in Gaza, called for the release of all hostages um, that are with Hamas. He did specifically said not one, not two, not three at a time. He said, I want all of them released, all 20 of them. Now, moving on, Trump asked that the UN stop buying Russian oil um, because it's, in his words, embarrassing that they are buying Russian oil and pleading Russia to stop a war. Trump admitted that he believed that he could have ended the Ukrainian and Russian war in 3 days, and then obviously failed. And he said that it turns out to be a lot more complicated than he thought. He attributed his thought process to his relationship with President Putin. He also called out the UN in other ways for not helping end the war, as in negotiation and ceasefires and such. Called out many countries for buying Chinese oil, which is helping fund the war in Russia and Ukraine. Now, President Trump is stating that China is helping Russia financially and in other ways. He is requesting the UN to stop buying Chinese oil, as that is giving them finances and resources to then supplement Russia to continue the war. He also said in front of all the countries that were in attendance that he has threatened and he is threatening steep tariffs against all countries who are buying Chinese oil and on China themselves. Trump calls for every country to stop biological weapons, including nuclear, mentioning COVID-19 and man-made pathogens being extremely dangerous not only to the United States or those countries, but to the world. And it could send the world into another pandemic or even destroy the world. Trump announces a team to enforce biological the stopping of biological weapons. He is wanting that team to make a biological convention using AI systems to help in test, as in results, as in data, as in actual facts showing that the country and countries are stopping their biological weaponry and things of that nature. And he wants and invited every country in the world to be in attendance for that. Official, officially, Trump officially came out and called the UN for mass immigration for their mass immigration problem in the world. Mentions that they are destroying the U.S. and others. Said mass immigration is not tolerated by the USA anymore. And he also harped on many things. And one of the more standout comments that he made is that every country is going to hell if they continue mass immigration due to that country losing their foundation of people, culture, and pride for their country. And specifically, he called out London's mass immigration, saying that, and I quote, I'm paraphrasing here, Sharia law, you can't do that in another country. Trump is calling out London and their mass immigration problem regarding Muslims from the Middle East and other places that are trying to enforce their rules and customs and culture upon the London people. Said immigration is a failed project and stated your countries are going to hell, as I stated before. Mentioned women being raped 3 times and beaten. Trump mentioned it 3 times because he deemed it as important knowledge, and he also deemed it as viable knowledge, not only for the leaders to hear, but also for the people who are watching and will watch later to hear that that is happening to women in the world due to mass immigration and other circumstances as well, but he said mostly due to mass immigration. Trump addresses the missing children in the USA from other countries due to, and I quote, globalistic migration, trafficked mostly by illegal immigration. And Trump also mentioned that we have found many children since he took office that were missing and returned them to their parents safely. But there's still so many children missing in the United States alone that he intends to find all of them. Address the cartel MS-13 and Tren de Agua with how he is addressing the problem. To every terrorist smuggling drugs in America will be blown to oblivion. And I quote President Trump. Trump, in this part of the speech, made it quick and concise, and I think that's due to him not wanting to give the terrorist organizations any more limelight than they already are getting, along with making a very, very, very public and global statement that he will not tolerate the terrorists anymore. Then Trump also went on to speak about renewable energy. U.S. is getting rid of falsely named renewables. They called them, and I quote President Trump, joke, due to cost and inefficiency. I feel like this was a trend that we were heading towards anyways, and President Trump is just speaking what everyone else knew in the world, that this wasn't a very efficient or effective way to have energy spread out, lower energy, and make energy last longer. Few more quick points about his speech. He called climate change the biggest scam, end quote, job. This is due to him referring to how the world goes through cooling and heating processes. Now, President Trump has also mentioned in that a lot of people made a lot of money off of that, and countries used that to make money, not because they wanted to make actual change. That's a very powerful statement to point out world leaders for not wanting to make an actual change in their country and or world, and that they just wanted money. Told countries to move away from the green energy their, or their country will fail. Followed up with his statement that he is always right, he's been right on many things, and that he has a knack for being right. He also called the carbon footprint a hoax, and I quote that. He quite literally said carbon footprint, and then I quote President Trump is a hoax. He then, in a not serious manner, congratulated Europe on lowering the carbon footprint by 37%, which accumulated to many, many, many jobs lost in their country. He called the Paris climate control fake and said that it is another example of the US being taken advantage of financially by being bought into a plan that we are paying 2, 3, 5, sometimes 10x the amount of other countries when we all share a similar status in the world and we should all be paying our fair share. And then he makes an open offer to trade coal. And he stated that he has a little mandate going on in the White House. How serious is this? I don't know. That everyone must call coal clean, beautiful coal. And he believes that that will be the future of clean energy for the United States and the world to continue with. And he said, when all countries need it, they're open to trade with the United States of America. This is a quick summary of some notes and points I made of Trump's speech to the UN. If you watch the speech, you can see many countries get frustrated and or surprised by what he is saying. He called out many countries, and those countries were in attendance. Many people sit there and say, why would Trump do this? Why would Trump sit there and call out all these countries right in front of their face? Isn't that too confrontational? Isn't that too aggressive? And things of that nature. And I'm here to tell you, that's what he should do. Point blank. He's a leader of the United States of America. If he sees it fit that countries need to be called out on a global scale due to their wrongdoing and or mischievous ways against their own people and or the United States of America, then they need to be called out. And he did it appropriately. Did not call for violence or anything of that nature. He just simply told them that they are making mistakes, they are messing up, they are greedy, they are bloodlusted, and that they truly do not want peace in the world. I thank President Trump for being straightforward with these countries. As I said, they were in attendance. China, Russia, Ukraine, UK, like France, all these countries were in attendance this week. And congratulations on just being present enough to get their attention and tell them, and just flatly tell them. I say the best kind of truth is the one where you don't beat around the bushes. You just tell it straight on. You let them know. And when you let them know, that puts them on notice. And it also allows you and them to know where not only you stand, but where that line is for you. As in, do not cross my line. I also would like to say that President Trump did a great job speaking, even without a teleprompter for a while. And the teleprompter and escalator not working is very, very weird. But I'm glad that he is safe, especially with all these um, mass shootings and or assassinations that are happening these past few weeks. I hope that President Trump does follow through on many things that he said. Um, due to me wanting to see a leader lead, not stand by or idly by. Just lead. For better or worse, lead the country. Don't lead us into war, but lead us into places that will allow not only myself, but every American the opportunity to complete the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I feel like many Americans don't understand that they have life, that they have liberties, and that they do have the pursuit of happiness due to ideologies, propaganda, and other other community and or social media influences showing them that they do not have the pursuit of happiness. They do. You do. And you should pursue that with all your heart. As in that is where you'll be the most satisfied. Not the most happiest, not the most joyful, but the most satisfied. And you can go to bed every night believing in yourself, knowing that you did right, knowing you did no wrong, knowing that you're making a change in the world for the better. Be a positive leader, be a positive influence, stand for what you believe in, and never, never, never give up. Those are some of the things that I gathered from President Trump's speech. I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed this quick recap. We will also be covering a few different other topics um, regarding the UN and the world sooner than later. So please stay tuned. And thank you for joining. Once again, please like, comment, and subscribe, as that is a great help to me and the channel. And a few questions for you. What did you think of the speech? Do you think a president should be that straightforward? And how would you change the speech? Go through the speech. Let me know how you would change it. Yeah. Until next time. See you.